This is Flamin' Groove Listens, showing off my record cleaning machine, a degritter I got a couple of months ago. We are in my old record storage room, which used to be my record room complete. Over there is a printer, a computer, and my wall of records, which the top row's got some books up there. Then I've got 4 rows of records, bricks and boards. They've basically been there since 1985. Down the bottom there's another row on the floor. 3 boxes for my singles that I haven't done anything with yet. There's a box of singles right there. This is a crate of records that I recently got cleaned before I got a degritter. There's my old Masterlink 9600 without a faceplate. The nameplate fell off, but everything else works fine. My Yamaha CA600 amplifier I've had since 1974, 75. My old Denon turntable with a pile of crap on top of it because I haven't used it for a while. Up there, my old Yamaha speakers. Some of my box sets of CDs. Over here, more of my box sets of CDs. A few straggly cassettes that I still have. Over on that wall there, those are Snap and Store boxes full of CDs. Not really, those are organized pretty well. We're going to take the grand tour here. This is for the contest entry. What do they call it? Vinyl 2022 or something. I've got more CDs down here stacked up ready to get merged in with the other ones when I find space to put them all. My mystery cat Mac. He's the one that doesn't like people whatsoever. Now, my soon-to-be storage room, which I still got lots of work to do yet because there's boxes of crap and boxes of records. But I got a couple of Kalex shelves here. Bunch of box sets here on top. Got a bunch of them there. Then these Kalex shelves here, and I'm too close to them. You can't. Most of those, 5 of those are the records that I got from my good friend Tony. She passed away a few years ago, and I ended up with her records. And these last 2 boxes here with the Coleman postcards on them, these are the 2 cubes worth of the Coleman collection that I bought off the Mazzy the other day. And there's a 25 cuber that I've started to fill up, but I haven't quite figured everything else out yet. More boxes of crap, more stuff to take care of. But we'll do it one of these days. And now we come to the, oh, that's just a TV. There's one of my speakers there. There's my other speaker there with the record I was just enjoying before I started making this video, which is Hot Knives. Great record. There's my turntable. There's the old record waiting for the other side to get played. There's my amplifier. A bunch of other crap there that you need to go along with all this good stuff. So, now, last time I did this, I set the I set the camera up right here. Let's see if I can do that this time. Oh, my cat wants to help. There I am. And you will notice, and I will do a short spin. Come on, cat, get out of here. Oh. I am wearing my Oakland A's shirt. That should qualify as green. It's, I don't know. Let's see if I can sit down and see what else to talk about. Oh, I'm an old fart here. There we go. So, about me. Born in 1949. Harry Truman was president. Bought my first records in 1963. I believe that was Peter, Paul, and Mary. I think I bought the first 2 records of the same day. That's my memory, but I was probably 14 years old at the time, so I don't remember much. By the time I graduated from high school and went off to college, I probably had 4 or 5 inches of LPs, maybe. Went off to college in 1967, the fall of 67, and I dropped out in the fall of 69. That period of time I did buy quite a few records, went to a lot of rock and roll shows. That's when I started getting into music more heavily and actually buying it. My very first stereo, 1968, I bought a Sony reel-to-reel tape deck that had speakers built into that were the lids. You pull the speakers off, they were connected by a little 10 feet of wire, so you couldn't unplug them or plug them back in. And you had a little 7-inch reel-to-reel tape recorder that would go 7 inches per second or 3.5 inches per second, you know, whichever way you wanted. And it had a input jack for a phono, so I plugged in an AR turntable. I got a used AR turntable and a brand new Sony tape recorder, and I think both of them cost me about $300 in 1968. Went off after I dropped out of college in 1969. Late 1969, I ended up moving to California in 1970, January 1970. Got married in 1971. And that year and a half before I was married, I bought a lot of records, went to a lot of shows. Got married and I continued to buy a lot of records. About 41 years ago, my wife and I, we bought this home in San Pablo, California. Finally got it paid for a couple years back. Took a little more than 30 years, but not too bad. I think 35. You know how it goes. Basically bought nothing but records until 1985. Christmas 1984, I got myself a CD player. And I went full tilt boogie into digital. I got between all the CD players and upgrades and stuff. I kept my old stereo, but I kept changing up on the CD players and the cassette decks and all that good noise. I used to make a lot of cassettes for friends for years. I was the guy that people would buy a record and they'd bring it over to my house and I'd make them a cassette of it and then they'd give me the record. Because my cassettes would sound better than the pre-recorded ones usually. Who knows? But so anyway, by 1985 I had most of that 45, 50 feet of records that I showed you earlier in the first room. And then I basically started buying CDs and of course went way overboard on that too. About 2014, 2015, somewhere around in there, I started hearing about Record Store Day, and I'd go to Record Store Day and not get there early and wait in line or anything. I'd buy a few records, but mostly I'd still buy CDs right up through Well, yeah, 2021 is kind of the year well, it was a bad year for me. I lost my wife. She passed away. But even before that, right before I started buying records again a little bit, mostly used. Then, you know, I ended up, after my wife passed away, I ended up getting a better stereo, which is the one out here in the living room. The Scala speakers and hardware to match it, you know. It's not, I don't know what all, we got a Rega turntable and a Rogue amp, or just decent stuff, not out of this world stuff, but decent stuff. A lot better than the stuff I've had for years. And I just started buying records like crazy. You know, a lot of people, they lose their wives and they go out and buy a fast sports car, or they do this or they do that. I went out and bought a new stereo and a lot of records. And over the course of the last year or two, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. I've made a couple. I'm not very good in the technology. And I see people showing albums. I would love to show lots of records, but I haven't got a setup yet that makes it convenient for me. And I'm in that place where I've got way more records than I had room for. So I got more room, but I haven't really got them organized yet. And I think I want to get away from the bricks and boards and go to all Kalex shelving. But I got to figure out how many I need and where they go and figure all that out. And I'm working on it. I'm not in any great shape, you know, not a big hurry. You know, if it gets done, it gets done. If it doesn't get done, it doesn't. I've been buying lots and lots of records. I kind of went through I did not buy a Beatles mono box set when they were readily available. I did buy it on CD, actually. I actually have that one on CD. But when I realized that those were not going to be around I went out and basically snagged all the box sets that were around that I could find that were still not unfortunate, unruly priced. Anyway, I hope that this video counts. I got my green shirt on, and I'll just say goodbye and hopefully load this up and see if it works. Bye-bye. Oh, where's the